sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me. There's no break your bigotry. Here you don't know.
Hello, everybody. How's everyone tonight? Welcome to another edition of the Crusty Canuck live Q&A, brought to you by StreamYard and other people, such as myself. Let's see here. Kiprioth, how you doing? Good to see you. How's everyone tonight? Interesting week. Hello, Lori. How are you? Good to see people have come out. Well, I have people's attention. Please consider joining the page, especially on my YouTube here. Here's a link in the comment section. $1.99 a month gets to see my ugly mug every day. And by joining, you help me finance this endeavor. Server change. Oh, I see. Okay. Upgrading there, Kipriev. And Claude de Morin, hello, you doing? Bonjour, ça va? My French is a little weak, but I'm working on it. Sue Kozakowski. Yes, it was a decent day. I am actually training through a veterans program to get into data analysis. I can't speak English. Data analytics and internet security. So I'm being productive. I had to finish part of the page today. I did it yesterday and I had to do it again because it got lost somehow. Anyhow, make a long story short, I'm doing that with my time. So, well, good to see you, Kip. Please, folks, don't be shy. Ask me what you want to know. This is a very, very open discussion. Just keep it clean, folks. Right? I don't care if you swear. No, but please, by all means, let me know. Well, no congratulations just yet. I have to see if I got to finish the course first, then put together a resume, cover letter, all that good stuff to say I've done it. But they've helped me. This veterans group has helped me a lot, and they've helped veterans out, so they're pretty good. How you doing, Dave from Wyerton? Yep, I used to stomp in Owen Sound, so I know the diving in Wyerton is fantastic. You know, I would like to go there again probably this coming summer and go for a couple dives. So please, everyone, if you'd like, let me know exactly, well, not the exact location, but what town are you reaching out to me from? Just get an idea in the schematic of my Canadian fans here too. I know Dave's from Wyerton. Sue is from Windsor, I believe. Kip, where are you calling from? Perth County, okay. Lori Meikle, Calgary. Welcome, Lori. Oh, thank you, Zeke. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Please. Kipriath asked me here. I'll post this question. Perth County, as a former Canadian military person, how should... Well, I would really look at the security of the situation. Why did it even happen in the first place? Why was that even allowed? Honestly, like, did we have training exercises with the Soviets in 1987? Right? Did they have exchange exercises with ISIS and the Taliban in the late 90s? I think not. So, Desert Dog, Thunder Bay, and Tucson. Oh, welcome. Are you calling from Thunder Bay right now there, Desert Dog? Or are you in Tucson? Good to see you, Lori Meikle. Is it Mickle or Meikle? How do you pronounce it? And Claude Desmoulins, Quebec, La Belle Provence. Bonjour, bienvenue de la Crusty Canuck podcast. Les live stream. Okay, Zeke. I am going to ask you this one time. Keep it clean, okay? Or I'll expose that question for you. Would you like that? Lori Pickle. Okay. All right, Miss Mickle. Not a problem. I'll call you Lori. Welcome. Welcome from Calgary. Anybody else? Please feel free to ask anything you'd like to know. Okay. You asked for it, Zeke. All right. I currently have 14 lemons stuck in my anus, and I am in immense pain. Please, God, have mercy on my soul. For the love of Christ, send an ambulance. Any jaws of life. Well, can you still use your thumbs? Go text it. Right? You want to be a douchebag and be a dick, fine. Okay? If you want to ask me a legitimate question about what I do and everything, well, okay. We can do that too. But you want to keep being a dick, well, you'll just delete it off my page. Choice is yours. Gabriel Shear. Good to see you, Gabe. That was a great talk we had yesterday. I really enjoyed that. Yes, it was fantastic. Desert Dog. No, I don't mind at all, Desert Dog. Ask me what you want to know, by all means. Joe CC, I am doing good. Joe, how are you doing? How's it going, push-ups? How you doing? Don't be afraid, folks. Please take advantage of the membership perks come with the Crusty Canuck podcast. I'm at a point now where I've invested 2.5 years into this work. So please, every little bit helps. $1.99 a month, you get access to me and proper accolades accordingly. So, well, Sue, I'll be taking this to actually make some money because I'm not making a lot of money yet with the podcast, just as of yet. That's why I keep plugging the whole people to join and donate and all that. But if things work out with this position, I could be making some decent coin. Yeah. Right. Binks Webelf. Did I say Webelf or Webelf? Did I say it right? Anyway, welcome, Binks. It's good to see a variety of people coming out to say hello. Greeting, Binks. So please, folks, take advantage of the Join My Page application there too. For $1.99 a month, so I ask if half my subscribers would give that, I'd be on my way to getting something really cool. So Web Elf. Okay. Thanks, Web Elf. Well, good to see you, Banks. Thanks for coming out. Feel free to ask me anything you want to know. Talk about the current events. Is Gabriel, you still around, Gabriel? Don't be shy, folks. Just keep it clean. Yes, it is depressing, but the more we talk about it, the more we get it out in the open, the more we can handle it like adults, as we should. Set a better example than what our politicians are doing. Desert Dog. Okay, I will say it. I did 20 years. I served 20 years. I was originally signed for 25, but in 2014, PTSD came and paid me a visit, and some issues ensued and all that. So I did my 20 years, and I left at the rank of sergeant. So I was an infantry sergeant. I was an instructor briefly for a while, taught some good classes, taught some mediocre classes, and I had some issues. Luckily, I had a decent warrant officer who kind of mentored me and gave me some help when I needed it and listened to my issues. And well, I was lucky to have that. Some of my compatriots did not have the same fortune as I did, but I'm forever grateful for the experience I've had in the service. It's had a great part in making me who I am today. And I've met some really cool people, made some great friends, and I've worked with some really excellent human beings. And it's something that just does, that was something that won't leave you. That camaraderie will never leave you. So that answers your question, Desert Dog. Ivan Suchuk, what do you think about aviator instead of airmen? Either or works for me, but I think the military is trying too hard to catch up with the woke BS. Rank and file, it is what it is. I don't care if you're an airman or aviator. If you're an aviator, you're obviously a pilot. If you're an airman, I guess you're a pilot too. I'm not familiar with all the old rank structure with the Air Force, but I personally don't find offense to that. But I'm getting sick and tired of people trying to screw with it too. So. Gabriel Shear, is anything the D&D ranks similar to the Oath Keepers of the USA? That's a good question. Our rank structure is based on the old British rank structure. Up until 1968, we used to have a rank called Lance Corporal in the NCO Corps there. So I don't know what to say in regards to that. But if you want to refer us to Oath Keepers in the US, I guess in a way we're Oath Keepers too, strangely enough. So, all right. Well, thanks for that question, Gabriel. It's appreciated. Thank you, Kipriath. Oh, wow. Appreciate that. Thank you, buds. Thank you very much. Cheers. What the F is going on in the regional governments in these lockdowns restrictions? This is the year mark of the BS. Well, exactly. Where are these hospitals overloaded too? Canada Poly does an excellent series on that. He refers to his area in Guelph, and the hospitals there aren't overloaded. So I think regional governments are just aiming to please, if anything. Luckily, in our area, there's not so much lockdowns and restrictions, but I want to see people working again. I want to see people getting there thriving again. So, but thanks for that donation, Kip. Appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. Well, appreciate that. Okay. Well, I appreciate this, Doug. You don't have to call me sir. Just call me John, or call me Crusty Canuck. It's fine. Right. But I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm glad that you appreciate that. Just think about this next election too. So, yes. And cheers to you, Kipriath. Mingsweb Elf. Never served in the forces, but come from military family like I won before. Yes. And that's the thing with a lot of us Canucks too. We there's always a distant family member that served in one capacity or the next. So when people tell me that, we don't have a great military history, I beg to differ. So, but yeah, well done. It's always good. You know, my grandfather was a wireless radio operator. That was his title at first. Then he became a wireless air gunner. And then he got into radar with the RCAF. And my other grandfather fought the Nazis in Holland in 1944, I believe. It was about, I think it was in the fall of 44. Yeah, so it was well after D-Day that he ended up fighting the Nazis in Holland. So, and I had a distant uncle that fought in the Boer War. Another distant uncle apparently that fought in Korea. So it's there. Everybody's family that I've talked to has some kind of distant relative that served in one capacity or the next. So instead of seaman, what is it now? I don't know, to be honest with you, Ivan. I have no idea. I do not know. But there's a lot more work that needs to be done in the Navy rather than rank structure. The funding for starts, getting rid of some of the old brass that hangs on for dear life for administrative positions, when they should putting men and women to work and getting those boats on the water and start patrolling our seas as they should. So, in Perth Alliance Health Unit concerning 7 hospitals. Yeah, good point, Kipriath. Yes, exactly. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 5 people in these ICUs and that big spread of area. And considering Ontario is the most densely populated, province in the country, that's all. So we know they're, not telling us the truth. So let's see here. Dave Hemmington. By the way, they are taking, yeah. Well, I read something about that, and I saw something of that on the True North Media page too. So a little more going on in the woodwork, so stand by for that. And if you got some sharp, pointy sticks, by all means. See person. Are they serious, Joe? Is that what they call it now? The person? Sorry, I couldn't help it. The person. I'm in the Navy and I'm a the person. Okay. Sorry, I had to. That was in the Canadian Air Force Reserve. Brother was in the Army Reserves in the Maritime. So, okay, well, he served, Nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't judge people if they served or they not, or if they haven't. I don't care if they did reserve. I don't care if they did rec force. I don't judge people based on their terms of service. I judge people on their actions. But that's good that you have a family history that's done that. So, yeah. Kipriel says, aqua person. Yeah, that works too. Yeah. But I think if you're going to be aqua person, you'd have to have at least a scuba qualification or two, right? That way you can say aqua person. So. Well, keep it up, Colin. Keep it up, bud. Gabriel, do you wear 6 Max at once? Or you killing grandma? Well, I only wear the one. And I stay away from the seniors. No, just kidding. I get you, Gabe. Smart ass. Yes. Big Swebelf. See people kind. Say that 3 times really fast when you're trying to write a report. See people kind blogging said. See people kind. Wow. See, yeah, push-up said it too. Exactly. See? Starting to think alike here. Outstanding. JT, the liberals play the correct narrative. Yeah. Well, it's a trend too. It's a trend. Really, I personally don't know any females that have served in the military that have ever been intimidated by the name seaman, or able seaman. Like they've never, no. I don't know. John says, thought of Nick Fuentes. Remind me who he. I think you asked me this before. Remind me who he is again. Well done, Colin. Good. You get that sorted out, and you get another qualification and some steady work down your back, which is good. So, Desert Dog. I'm looking around. Yeah, I heard that too. Canada Poly has some good information on that as well. So yeah, check out his channel. He's not so much on YouTube anymore. He's more or less, I think, on BitChute and Rumble. So check out his work. I check from his stuff time to time. So he's got some pretty good information there. So I like his, but yeah, those numbers just don't coincide with the lockdowns and the restrictions. So able seaman. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Okay. Likes to do provocative things. Can you elaborate on provocative things? Is that? Okay, I'm just trying to think who that guy is. No, I'm thinking of some commie. Okay. Yeah. Nick Fuentes. Just let me look it up here if I can. Mm. Okay. Well, if he does hold anti-Semitic views, if he does hold white supremacy BS, I never pay attention to him. Okay. I'm not into that stuff. Hmm. Yeah, I just read his bio. Yes. I'm not looking for attention. Yes. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not into that white national bullshit. No, I don't buy that crap. I don't. A paleocon. Okay, whatever that is. Is that a new term or is that something reinvented? So I don't buy that stuff. We get a box of grid squares. Yes. Doug Ford, bit of a Justin wannabe. Well, to the extent, but I think he spends more time worrying what people think about him rather than what he thinks of himself. Um, he doesn't hold a conservative brand as he should. He's definitely not doing what he promised to do. Ontario open for business. No, you know. Yes, Joe CC, a bucket of frequencies. Also, don't forget the brake light fluid as well. That always comes in handy with the HL. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Bucket of frequencies, exactly. I was always partial to the box of grid squares as well. So, hey, yeah, I could say that. I could also say agree with that too, Kip. Big time. Like I say, folks, please don't be shy. Please join the page on my YouTube for $1.90 a month. Plus, there's other perks too. And I've also, it's been brought to my attention, I am at 94 episodes so far that I have loaded up onto my Podbean page. So I've actually had 94 episodes published and displays for y'all. So I'm going to be planning something for my 100th episode. So keep that in mind. I might have a raffle. I might have an auction. We'll see. So keep that in the back of your minds there, ladies and gentlemen. So the new CDS. Let's see. To be totally honest with you, I don't think of them at all. I don't. Because regardless of the situation that's going on in this country, I find every CDS, well, every CDS we've had since at least 2006, um, a politician, really. You never really heard a lot from them during the Chrétien years. You never heard them in the early 2000s. And then when you did, it was more a political thing. Oh, Gabriel Scheer, new member. Cheers, buddy. Thank you. Gabriel Scheer, everybody. You just joined the page. Well done, sir. Thank you. To answer your question, Ivan. Desert Dog. With Canapoli, too bad he left YouTube. Well, he didn't really have a choice. He wasn't, with the work he does and the amount of viewership he does, you would think he'd be making more money, but he wasn't really making a lot of coin. Plus, he was censored quite a bit too. So, you know, Desert Dog. Well, I enjoy being on Adam's show. He invited me actually because I guess he liked one of my episodes. So I kind of said hello. He invited me on a show, and then there you go. So, yeah, it's a great platform. I really enjoy being part of that. So I'm glad you look forward to it too, sir. So yes, I could do that. Yes, Sue. Yes, it's getting there, isn't it? So The military ever arrest Trudeau for treason? That's a good question. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. Be honest with you. Frank Vaughn has set up a home server. He is being Yeah, that's true. I saw that too, and he was mentioning that as well. So right now, I don't have, I think, $6 or $7 it costs to do a server at the moment. So, but yeah, he does a great job. I like Frank too. I like what he says. I've met him a couple times now, so he's class act. Like, you're just intelligent, smart, just down to earth, decent guy. Right on. So, yes. Oh my God, push-ups. No, they won't. Yes, of course. He might pull the race card out and say, it's racist. How dare you talk to me that way? I mean, Suchuk, is it infantry personnel? As far as I know, it's still infantier. So that can go male or female, infantier, infantry soldier. So I don't think that's changed too much. But okay, folks. Don't be shy, folks. Say hello. Ask me anything you want to know. Harold's thinking that Zeke guy actually had legitimate to say, but no, he just wanted to be a dick. So I guess he went home and cried in his oatmeal. PPC or CPC? Well, I'm VCP. I joined that party, and if they call an election extra well, you'll be seeing me running under the VCP banner, Veterans Coalition Party. So what I'll do is I'll leave a link to that as well. So if I answer your questions, John, yeah. With the VCP, you have ex-liberals, ex-conservatives, ex-service people, serving service people. You have firefighters, you have police officers, blue collar, basically all the way. And it's just common sense politics, basically, if there is such a thing. So, Gabriel Shear, let's see. Nobody saved it. Yes, 16 lemons. That's just being greedy. The old radio behind me. Well, actually, that's from the Source Electronics. That's a turntable as well. So it just looks like an old style. But when I feel like listening to my old punk rock LPs, I'll put them on that there. So PCP, yep, all the way. BBC haven't published Constitution, yeah. Well, see, that's the thing too, because I personally know individuals in the Conservative Party, and I know a couple of people in the PPC, and they're good people. They're passionate. They love their country too. But yeah, you're right. They're Kiprioth too. There has been a constitution really promoted under the PPC banner, and yeah, it's nice to see Max once in a while actually stand up for Canada. But what gets me is how is he getting paid, and other members of the party isn't. So that's the thing. And the CPC hasn't stand by their brand. I think what did it for me with the CPC was when they got rid of Sloan, regardless if you agree with him or not, they just threw him under the bus to follow this whole woke agenda. And it's just like, I don't see it, because the man was not a racist. He is married to a minority. He's got 3 little kids. He works his ass off. He's intelligent, right? And he had every right to ask Theresa Tam where her loyalties lie. I would have asked her the same thing, right? So it's just the whole political woke bullshit it's got to stop, right? It's got to stop, and I'll put that in my campaign too. We've got to stop this stuff, because it's just creating more division and more ignorance rather than longevity, So, well, yeah, exactly. Same thing with Ford too, throwing Hillier around, and what's his name, Roman Barber? Is it Barber or Barber? Yeah, same thing. Like, what are you doing? Like, these are people that earned a spot. They were elected. They earned a spot. And I just tossed them out of the party because you don't agree with me. It's like high school, you know? Fucking what? So, a pretty shitty example of leadership on both parts, you know? So, pretty shitty example. So, would I vote for General Hillier? No. I've met him in 2007. Nice guy. He was really there for the troops and getting equipment, getting things done. But no, I would sooner vote for an ex-soldier that spent time in the front lines as a master corporal or a sergeant or as a warrant officer, maybe a junior officer, but no, I would not. I could see him as a decent fit for governor general, but then I'm starting to think too, do we really need the governor general anymore? Do we need that position? So I wouldn't, no. Considering what was just exposed with Payette and other exposures, especially ex-governor general still getting, an expense account. Nah, I don't. Yeah, Doug Ford is being a dumb idiot for throwing. Yeah, well, that's the thing. And that's the thing with the VCP, because it's not a matter of towing the party line. It's a matter of working together to find a solution to a problem, and regardless of who's vocal or not. Now, I've talked to the leader of the VCP party, Randy Joy, and we've discussed minimal things like that. We need more in-depth discussion. But if there's, let's say, an election in April, he's the first person I call and say, what do you want me to do? Because he put this party together. And I worked with Randy back in 1RCR back in Petawawa. So yeah, I know he's a stand-up guy, and he won't take any crap. I could see him and I in Parliament sparring with the Liberals. We'd have a great time. So, oh, thanks, Lori. Thanks for coming out. Yeah, every 2 weeks I try to do a live stream. So please just pay attention to my community page. Check me out on Facebook. I leave updates and stuff there too. But thank you. Lori Mickle, everybody. Yes, Lori Mickle. Thanks for coming out. Well, see, that's the thing. And Frank ran under the PPC banner last election too. So I will take his word for it as well. Especially Ontario being the densely populated voting population in this country. You would think that he gets some leeway because he's a stand-up guy. We need more stand-up people in Parliament, and that's including provincial legislation, everything. So, as far as I know, there is one. But if we don't get one, we can get onto it right away. Just go to the VCP webpage. Just type in Veterans Coalition Party, and you will get the information you need there too. And you'll ever get an email back from a guy named Gil, or I think it's Gil. Yeah, Gil does it. He does HR stuff. So, right. Well, exactly, Kipriath. The person represents the values and traditions and not talking points. It's like I've said numerous times. I'm not going to sit here and promise this and promise that. Who am I to promise things? When you hear that from politicians, it's just like your parents saying, "Oh, we'll go to Disneyland. Oh, we'll go to Wonderland. Sure, we will. I promise you." Like, no. No, that's the problem. And when you see this, especially with the Liberal cabinet, you're not seeing genuine policies. You're not seeing genuine actions. You're seeing backing up the party's actions, not backing up their individual actions because they hide behind them, right? So that's the thing, though, too. But ladies and gentlemen, especially my listeners and fans in Ontario, look into the VCP party because they need some candidates out there as well. And the thing being, if you get your hat in the ring and people start paying attention, especially out there in the greater GTA area, wow, there's a lot of veterans I know that still live out there. And they'd love to hear and see somebody represent veteran values, common sense, right? So, exactly, Kiprius, right? Because every time the government goes in debt, who gets stuck with it? Everybody else around us. It was a real shit show. Well, Joe, do it. Do it. We can love to have you. We would love to have you. You know, we would love to have you because it's not just a veterans party. It was brought together by a veteran, but it's not just for veterans. It's for every Canadian that more or less gives a shit. Every Canadian, all colors, all creeds, all genders, all spectrums. You know. How about Don Cherry? Well, yeah, I would say yes to that. But Don's got his own money. He doesn't need taxpayers' money. Well, why not? Hell, even William Shatner, the captain himself. Well, it would be fantastic to see. Well, don't be shy, folks. Speak your mind. That's right, Banks. It has. Yeah, it is because they keep printing money like there's no repercussions, and yet what's going to be done about it? Oh no, the taxpayers be on the hook because it's okay for them to give away millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars for the sake of UN appraisal, right? But I'm also a firm believer too in a big pay cut, right? Yeah. Well, you're partially right, push-ups, but in the same sense, the defeatist attitudes don't go very far. As much as I'm disenfranchised, a lot of people in Ottawa right now, I'd like to see a difference made. I'd like to see people such as you, everybody else in the show, myself, the people I've talked to about this. Yeah, it starts with us. Yes, federal debt over $1 trillion. Quite a bit. And for what? What does Canada have to show for it? Right? A slack and idle procurement procedure, right? Slack and idle leadership on all parties, okay? And there's no work in Alberta. Work is getting minimal in Ontario and La Belle Province. So what's happening? Well, go to Montreal, see what they say. A lot of veterans live in Montreal and surrounding area. You know, the greater Montreal area would probably give you a voice, right? You might have to deal with the odd Québécois de Le Bloc. You know, just throw dirt at them. Ivan Suchek, what do I think of the new F-35 fighter? Well, technology is great, but like all these manufacturers forget too that we have a high Arctic to patrol. And as far as I know, there is yet to be innovations that can really look after that just yet. If it was up to me, I would procure brand new F-18s and maybe some Eagles too, right? That's the thing. That's if it was up to me. I'd get brand new F-18 Super Hornets. I know the United States Navy and the United States Marine Corps still uses them. They're a great jet. They're versatile. And I'd get some F-15 Eagles. And for shits and giggles, I'd throw some A-10s in the mix too. Right? Tank hunters. So. Well, see, that's the thing. This debt gets closer and closer and closer, right? And if they do call an election come April, I hope to God there's people out there that want to fix that. Well, because obviously they won't let oil industry flourish in this country. Any part of our natural resources will be hands off because of this so-called greenie idea, right? They keep promoting green technology, and yet what has been put on the table? What tender has been laid on the table? What plan do they have with all this revenue from carbon tax to save us from the climate catastrophe? What's happening, right? I haven't seen any schematics. How about you, right? Any plans for geothermal research? Any plans for personal wind turbines you can put on your property? Any kind of schematic where you can use car batteries to make your own generator, right? Is there schematics available for people to start using biodiesel? How about hemp? The pros and cons of hemp, right? Yes, that's right. The budget will balance itself. See, that's a musical in the works right there, right? The budget will balance itself. Just like this cigarette will smoke itself too. Yeah. Yep, I know. There's a lot of us in the same boat, Colin. A lot of us Canada wide too. So a lot of us in the same boat. And it's not fair. But the best thing we do is find innovations, find solutions. Kick the old guys out, let the new fresh meat come in, get the pipeline going, get our oil to market. Right? Yeah. You see, that's the thing. And they're talking about that in Germany too. And yet, what would the UBI be other than just a glorified welfare payment? Right? What would it be? It's just a handout. Right? I'm not condemning anybody who has needed the CERB or the SEBA, but there's proof out there that there are people that didn't deserve it that got it. And there's also proof out there too that young kids were getting it. So, interesting. You're right, though. That'd be a more debt. Right? Where's the productivity coming from? So, yeah, exactly. Well, green energy sector, but I'm not talking about the sector. I'm talking about people that want it, right? I'm talking about people that want to, let's say, get 5 or 6 car batteries together to create a generation station, which can be done, right? Um, I had a book on that, a prep book that showed you how to put 4 car batteries together to generate power for, let's say, a small cabin. So you could have running water, a few lights, have a stereo, have a TV, run your stove, a small refrigerator. So if that can be done with 4 car batteries, imagine what can be done with 6 or 8, right? To keep generating something. So, but see, the transition, I think the transition should start with individuals that want it, not because the government says so, right? Exactly, Binks. UBI inflation. Gabriel asks, what do you think about the moderation of the military? Cheap drones that don't hesitate, miss, protest, etc. Well, like anything else, drones get in the wrong hands, then what you got? You got the Obama years. Drones are handy. Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong. We had a couple drones do some good recce stuff for us, it was a real thrill to see some of the firefights we're in, and I get to see it on it was in black and white, but it came from a Canadian drone that were watching us push the enemy forward, or we were pushing forward against the enemy. So that was kind of cool. But like anything else, it gets in the wrong hands. Who knows, right? Mm. Push-ups made a good point. Yes. There wouldn't be any productivity. Most of the people would take you out with, yeah, what's the incentive too, right? You know, there's people in my area too who had to take the CERB, and they're reluctant to go back to work. So if you think a $1,400 or $1,700 UBI is going to be effective, well, it's saying it doesn't give you any incentive to do anything other than just wait for your payment, right? Oh, Kipriath, yes, yes. I do remember that. Yes, I remember in the late 80s, especially in the early 90s too, when recycling was being kicked in and people were using less plastic, there was incentive to generate your own electricity. Yeah. Yeah, because that way it would give people profit too. But there was a poor guy, I think a few years back in PEI, who was doing the same thing, and Prince Edward Island gave him a hard time for it. So, take care, Binks. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. The world needs to fund off fossil gas. You need to hear. Well, we need to hear homes. Period. If we can't use gas, then people can start using wood again, right? When they start worrying about the carbon footprint, what do you think wood's going to do, right? Natural gas is clean fuel. Nuclear energy is clean. I'm not saying every province should have a giant reactor, but in the same sense, where's the incentive for people to heat their own homes by their own means without having to pay an arm and a leg to some provider, right? I actually just paid my utilities bill today, $360, right? That was money I needed, but I needed to keep my lights on, need to do this, so still. Well, thank you, Ivan. Please check it out. Check out the VCP. You can't go wrong. We're not made up of just grade 12 guys, and we're made up of college graduates, university graduates, blue collar people alike, ex-military, serving members of the military, ex-police officers, ex-firefighters, all walks of life. Check into it, please. So. Well, John, yes, Canada does come first in the VCP. We don't need to say it. We promote it. I'll definitely be saying it on my campaign for sure. Desert dog. Yep. See, that's the thing, though, too. Solar is unpredictable because we all know how winters are in Canada. Sure, you get a lot of sunlight, right? But you get those overcast days, which usually come after Christmas, right? So. Yes, every time I gas up, I think Justin's a putz too, but I also blame Notley too. Because it was nice just to go to the gas station, fill up, go pay for your gas, and carry on. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. You look at these power conglomerates, they work the same as all these bigger unions, right? Bigger unions, bigger conglomerates, bigger monopolies, dairy boards, wheat boards, cattle boards, all these boards. Mm-hmm. It gets to be ridiculous after a while. Please, folks, like I say, take advantage of joining the membership today. There is perks too. So I'm also working on some other equipment. I'm still working on getting a jersey done. My designer, he works another job, so his time constraints are a little bothersome. But yes, there will be a hockey jersey for sale, the Crusty Canuckers. It'll be my logo and some decent patriotic colors, right? But also check out my store too at customizedgirl.com/small s/Crusty Canuck. Check out some swagger too if you can. Nothing wrong with some good old Crusty Canuck swagger there. Valentine's Day is coming, so get your loved one a nice Crusty Canuck t-shirt. Just get the link here. There we go. And check out the banner at the bottom there. Yes, I do remember those incentives too, right? Who was the premier in the early 2000s? Was it? What was his name? Just trying to remember who the premier of Ontario was there. Was he the premier, or was he? I know he was the prime minister, but I mean the premier of Ontario. Cash probably give. Well, they don't. It's only 1.4%, right? 1.4%. That's the thing. And as far as I'm concerned, it should be up to at least 3 or 3.5. Right. Dalton McGuinty. That's right. That clown. Yeah, he was Wynn's mentor, I guess. Hi, I'm Orville Redenbacher, or she has a face like a foot. Yeah, so. Mike Harris. Okay, yeah, Mike Harris did it. I know he got into trouble. Yeah. Well, VCP do, but the unfair gun ban, we're against it. We want legal gun owners to have their guns, and we want stiffer penalties for smugglers, big time. Gangbangers, you name it. None of this off on good behavior stuff. If you have an illegal firearm and you use it in vain, well, you should deserve to be punished as far as I'm concerned. I'm a gun owner. I'm not a criminal, right? So that's where we stand on gun rights. In fact, I would like to incorporate them as a right, pretty damn close to what the Second Amendment is to our American friends down south. So, yeah, I remember Mike Harris, the crap he got into too. Yeah. Okay, that's right, Mike Harris. Yeah, common sense. Common sense, Joe. Right? I'm not saying you shouldn't go to court for standing by your morals and principles. But let's say if someone's breaking into your home and they have intent on harming you and or killing you, and you kill them, then I believe that should be out of the courts, if anything. Because let's say if you are right, let's say, okay, you get arrested and everything for discharging your firearm for getting rid of a burglar, but you still have to pay anywhere from 10 grand to 15 grand just to get decent representation towards the Queen's bench. And that isn't fair. That isn't fair. Self-defense, I think, should be paramount, period. Right? Castle laws, yeah, I would agree with that. Right? Well, see, that's the thing. He is a moron. And yet you look up YouTube. I actually had the link saved someplace. When he was the chief of police, they were making this big deal because they took down this gang issue back in 2013. And he was quite proud of that, right? And yet look how he's treating the gun issue now. So he's towing the party line, doing the liberal doctrine at his best ability, right? And he's getting paid $185,000 a year to do it, plus extra perks too. So he's not hurting. So he's got a decent pension from the Toronto Police Services for being a chief, not to mention what he's getting right now as a member of the Liberal cabinet and whatever little slap and tickles he's getting for pushing together these fucking mandates. So, and that's the thing with Bill Blair, because when he sat with Mr. Gattaca and Miss Wilson from the CCFR, he kept referring to American incidents. Okay, what's that got to do with guns in Canada, right? You're basing laws on what happened in this state or that state. What a baseless fucking idea, and what disingenuous leadership, right? If that answers your question. Feel free, folks, please take advantage of the membership too. Or if you want to donate, please look at my descriptions of my videos under PayPal and the Buy Me a Coffee app as well. Well, I like to make this a full-time job, ladies and gentlemen. Like, I'm still working on comedy. I know I promised this before, but I'm still working on trying to get some comedic videos and everything out there. So just to add some humor to the uncertainty we all face today. So feel free to donate if you can. I'm not going to be one of those teenage girls that's going to demand money and cover myself in egg whites like some of those OnlyFans tramps. But, you know. Oh, big time, big time. When you watch the May 1st OIC issue, okay, yes, they're promoting agenda. And if you look, I do have that video there. I actually did this video. I just plugged in my cell phone and I did a spiel on the whole OIC thing. So reference that if you'd like. Him and Trudeau, Bill Blair and Trudeau, and Meth Freeland, as my buddy Adam likes to say, the pint-sized you-know-what, sitting there assessing people who own guns and how we should do this and do that. And it was a very, very condescending freaking symposium. And I just wasn't impressed. So, you know, just look at my videos. It's dated for May 1st. And check it out. Links are in there too. The whole CTV footage where Miss Freeland's sitting there and looking down on people and talking to people with military identities as, you know, fetishism and shit. It's just, oh. Yeah, you can say you lost your guns in a boating accident, but I'm not giving them up. Yeah, the OSC press conference was a farce. It was. Even though that shithead in Nova Scotia was proven that he got illegal guns from Maine. So it just goes to show how lax some of the border issues are, right? Oh, of course he'd have OPP protecting him because he's an important guy. He's Bill Blair. He was a Toronto police chief, right? Oh. Yeah, I would agree there. Push-ups for sure. You know, if not, it's creeping very close. Look at all the tickets that are being handed out. Look at all the fines being handed out. Rebel did a story about a tattoo parlor, right, where there were tickets pre-written just in case. Well, you're right. You don't need an AR-15 to kill a deer, but you can also buy, you know, a .223 caliber bolt-action rifle to kill a deer. So which is it? Right? It's they forget the simple calibers of these rifles. And when people talk about, ooh, AR-15s, ooh, big and scary, you're still only allowed 5 rounds, semi-auto capacity. They don't look at that too, right? If you're caught taking a magazine, taking the pin out or the clip out, you know, that gives you the extra ammunition, you're in a world of shit. They don't look at that, right? So they're basically trying to add more fear to laws that are already in place, right? I really have nothing against anyone using an AR-15 to go hunt a deer, right? I've heard stories of men taking down moose with 22s. So, yeah, 223 is close to 5.56, 308. So yeah, exactly. So that's the thing, you know. Like you could have a bolt action rifle right? And if you have a magazine that can hold 100 rounds, you're good to go because it's bolt action, right? But if you have more than 5 rounds and anything semi-auto, oh, you're a goddamn terrorist. Well, exactly. It's a scare tactic, right? Hmm? Yeah, true. Exactly, Desert Dog. Exactly. Right. And there is a difference between the American conception of guns and the Canadian conception of guns. But the Americans I have worked with and talked to and trained with, there's that simple respect and that appreciation for them nonetheless. Right. So you treat them as tools, and they are tools. You know, they can be sporty tools, they can be hunting tools, they can be defense tools. Right. VCP's all for it. Like I said, we respect gun laws. Right. We respect gun laws. That's the thing. I own a couple of handguns. Right. I'm pretty sure our leader owns a couple of handguns too, for that matter. And I've talked to other VCP members that are actual sport shooters and dedicated hunters every fall. So we're not against guns. We're going to keep regular laws in place, maybe redefine certain criminal aspects of it, and punish those who are guilty of committing a crime. That simple. So, hmm. Hmm. Well, that's a good question, Ivan. Yeah. Hmm. Nothing wrong with private ownership of handguns. No more of this red tape stuff where you have to re-register and re-register. It's if we can come to a consensus where we can get rid of these clowns who fear their own shadow, I mean, on to better things. Mm. No, I would not stop the magazine limit. I would not. No, because I have fired numerous rounds in my service rifle that carried 30 rounds of ammunition, and I carried 150 rounds on my waist overseas, plus radio batteries, plus pistol mags, plus grenades, plus smoke. So I'm well aware of the safety and the attitude that you need to carry ammunition. Right. We have laws in the books regulating how we hunt, sport, shoot, exactly how we can open carry in certain capacities. Well, open carry, like when we're hunting, you're stalking a deer, a moose. Yeah, by all means, you're technically open carrying, right? But yeah, right. Joe Q Public gets this idea because CBC or CTV says things, and then oh my god, oh guns, oh my god, what are you do with all these guns? Absolutely nothing. What I own is no one's business. What you own is no one's business, right? So, of course, it's a vote grab too. Yes, all these procedures and fear, right? But look at the amount of gun crime that has gone up in the city of Toronto since the OIC decision, right? Since the OIC's decision, how much gun crime has gone up? I think the figure is roughly something like 82.6% based on the stats of gangs and gang violence, right? Mm. Yes, have to hold the media accountable, of course. You know, have to. And thank God we have people out there like True North, like Rebel, Daniel Boardman, Adam Mazzei, Frank P. Vaughan, right? Critical Thinker, right? Just name a few. And some of my American friends too question it. Fred Stockman, another lad out of Massachusetts, does wonderful analytics. No, so wonderful things. Well, see, that's the thing. We hear about a shooting. Actually, today, a cop in Montreal got shot. So two of Canada's most dense cities, it's a cesspool of gang violence, right? Yes. That's a good question. They've always basically did word salads when it comes to that. I think the CBSA has been more vocal on that than what Bill Blair has, right? So, well, needless to say, it's violence. All the more reasons, let's say, for stats like that in Thunder Bay, for people to protect themselves, right? Like Sean Connery said, he brings a knife, you bring a gun. You know, well, he puts one of your guys in the hospital, you put one of them in the morgue. Weigh the odds. Well, as much as I hate to say violence is the answer, someone's coming at you with a knife, fight or flight. You know. Oh, of course they are. No, it's obvious. John Lemon. That's just gravy stare. You gonna eat them potatoes? Well said, John. That gravy stare. Ooh, fucking ooh, yeah. He reminds me of Alex Lifeson's wicked stepbrother for some reason. I don't know. It's well, not that I'm dissing Alex Lifeson, the greatest guitarist ever, next to Hendrix, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, you know. John says politicians thinking a criminal is not going to. Well, see, that's the thing. And your criminals, if they have access to firearms, they know where to get them. Right? There is a black market in this country. It's not hard to figure out, you know, and it shouldn't be a surprise to some of these leaders. There is a black market out there. And if some kid or some thug or some gangbanger figures that he wants to get a big ass whatever, and he's got the money to do it, it can be done. Right? It can be done. And that's the scary part. And yet when they get caught with it, you know, minimal penalties, but then they want to take my guns away or your guns away for that. Right? We soon have a female CDS. You know, Ivan, I don't know. It'd be nice, but then again, when I look at the CDS, I look at them as politicians. They'll go with whatever party tells them to go. Doesn't matter if they're male or female. Look at the fiasco with the governor generals. Speaks for itself, right? BIPOC market. So, yeah, you could say that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The main court case, May 1st. Yes, yes. And apparently they've done a very good job. The CCFR has stood its ground firmly and exceptionally well with the attorneys they hired too. I actually donated to CCFR in regards to that. So yes, they're standing up for that. And I'm also working on firearms insurance too with them. Oh, thank you again, Kiprioth. Cheers. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for the super chat there. Yes, we should reset back to core values, charter less government interference in private life. Well, see, that's the thing. The Charters of Rights and Freedoms have instilled that. Period. Right to assembly, right to associate. However, so-called health officials are forgetting that, those basic principles. So we have to remind the authorities and powers that be, this is how it's going to be. Fine, hand me a ticket, but I know how to get a hold of Rebel. They'll help me fight this in court. So by all means, you know. Reserves bring in the big firearms. Well, that's debatable, Mr. Lemon. That's debatable. Well, I've actually talked to a couple of First Nations who beg to differ. They enjoyed their firearms. Their biggest concern is with a lot of drugs. Opioids and meth are the biggest. So. But that's who knows. We'll have to see about that. From the information I've gathered, it's not necessarily reservations. A lot of it is from inner city gang works. And I'm not going to be racial about this. I'm not going to pinpoint whatever culture, but it does deal with a lot of newcomers who get into gangs rather than anything progressive. So, you know. Well, see, that's the thing. The Governor General wears that. It's just part of the uniform. But mind you, I'll give credit to Michel Jean and I'll give credit to Payette for wearing uniforms when it came to military affairs. You would never see that from Adrienne Clarkson when she was Governor General. And that really pissed me the hell off too. Right. And she is still getting certain perks from her time as Governor General, which I think is wrong. So, let's see here. No, as far as I know, when it comes to marijuana, I look at it as a personal choice. Honestly, have you ever encountered anybody who was high on grass that wanted to fight? You know, I smoke a bit on occasion. It helps me with my PTSD, right? When it comes to actual hard narcotics, it all depends. I've actually sat and I've talked with Randy about this personally, like online here, and there are things that can be worked out. But we're working on a victimless crime issue, meaning that if somebody is caught with a bag of cocaine, whatever, give them a fine. Throwing them in the cooler for 5 years isn't going to really deter them, right? Considering what you think it costs to clothe and feed and possibly educate somebody who's in the slammer for 5 years, what's it going to promote? Okay, obviously he's not going to touch cocaine again, but then again, look how much has been spent, right, for a victimless crime. Oh, of course, Kiprief. They can be very, very lucrative. North of 60, the show, or the actual grid reference, North of 60. Yeah, I do remember that show. I used to watch it with my family. It was quite entertaining when the CBC actually put on decent programming. So, well, I'm not going to reference Breaking Bad, but I also know it can be a very, very lucrative operation too. But see, that's the thing. Drug trafficking is drug trafficking. My biggest concern with Canada right now is people's freedom to do what they want to do, i.e., go to work, pay their bills, save some money, and try to thrive by their own means, rather than the government telling them what they can and cannot do. Mm-hmm. Here's a good point. Yes, I agree, Joe. I agree. I believe they should be shot. Mm-hmm. De-hype version. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, hype, but it was a good drama. Great actors, great entertainers. You know. Mm-hmm. Yes, problem solved and a reoffending issue. Exactly. You're caught, hurting a kid. I don't care if you're male or female. I don't care if you're that token hot math teacher that's 25 years old, looks great in a miniskirt, and you're sitting there playing, hide the bum fun with a 14-year-old boy. You deserve to be penalized. Yeah. You deserve to be penalized. Yes, it is flawed. And that's the joy of democracy, because it can be flawed, right? We can sit and discuss these issues because of the flaws. Can you do the same thing in a communist state or any kind of totalitarian state for that matter? It's because of platforms like this where we can analyze our flaws in our democracy, try to make them better. Right? Yeah, but you got a good point, John. We are flawed. No such thing as a perfect system. Right? No such thing. But I would sooner live in a democratic state than any totalitarian state any given day. So. And in the next few weeks there too, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be working on getting some guests on my live streams too. So pay attention. The likes of Bennett Hunter, Canadian Libertarian, Fred Stockman, young man out of Massachusetts, who I've mentioned before. I'm going to try to get ADM on here as well. Maybe some words from Gabriel Scheer, words of wisdom. Great kid. You should look at his site there, ladies and gentlemen, Fort Gold. If you're still here, Gabriel, please send me a link there. I'll put it up on here. But by all means, pay attention to my community page and Facebook page you like, and I will get the information to you on what's going to be happening the next few weeks. So in the next live stream, I'm going to try to have a guest. I haven't decided yet or who's available, but there will probably be a guest here in the next live stream for you all. So, oh, there's a good point. Colin MacArthur. Yes, I do think that VCP will get a seat in the House. I don't know how. I don't know who. I would like to have that seat. And I'd wear a red shirt every day or a red tie to honor our fallen. So. I'm perfect citizen. Well, okay, yeah. Yeah, because we'd all be bees or wasps. But yeah, the idea of perfect, right? Robert Heinlein. Well, yeah, close. Opening up on borderline fascism, but when you think of it, having a license, if you want citizenship, then you have to earn it. Okay. 2 years of federal service. Ladies, when you have babies, they have to earn it. Right. So on paper, it looks good, but I wouldn't like I said, that's a utopia too. But yeah, he made a good point. Excellent book. Starship Troopers, excellent story. Movie sucked. It was eye candy, to say the least, but like I say, folks, it's now the 28th. Every 2 weeks, I do try to put a live stream up. So I'm going to work on probably getting a guest for the next live stream, so you can ask him or her questions as well. I've actually talked to Theo Fleury's people briefly. They're going to let me know, but I'll ask him again in the near future too, if you'd like to be a member to join me on a live stream or on a podcast. So. Well, when you think of it, Joe, when you think of our society, every working democracy has based a lot on the ancient Greeks and the ancient Romans. Architecture, irrigation, planting of crops. The Romans were the first, I think, organized military to actually incorporate pensions as long as they were alive. So where do you think a lot of the Brits and the French armies learned it from? So it's part of our lives as it is. Here's a good question from Ivan. What do I think of Alberta, Saskatchewan separating from Canada? I can see why. I can see why more for Alberta, Saskatchewan than I can ever can see it for les Blocs Québécois, right? Tasanko, good to see you. Thanks for coming out. In a way, I can justify it. I want to see Canada stay together, though. I want to see Canada stay as Canada, where we can all get along. I want to see equalization have its comeback to Alberta and Saskatchewan, to both those provinces especially. I want to see some of these old hangers-on who hang on the old 60s mandate, and let's start progressing. And I mean progressing economically. I want to give these people a shake that constantly say there's systematic racism everywhere. Every time you watch CPAC and you watch any parliamentary channel, doesn't matter if it's provincial or if it's federal, you're seeing a diverse mix of human beings there. Men, women, all colors, all creeds. I want to get rid of the narrative of this whole, oh, the West is this, but the East is that, right? But I can see why Alberta and Saskatchewan want to do it. But in the same sense, how is it really going to benefit us in the long run too? Like, I'm not from Alberta. I just live in Alberta, but I love it out here. I do. If I didn't come out here, I wouldn't have met my wife. Right? My wife's an Alberta girl. Well, but I don't really want to see it. I don't, honestly, I don't. But if they do separate, I can see why. If the government keeps pushing its mandates like it has been the past 5 years, I think there might be more Canadians that want to come out and live out west. And then we'll have to see. But that's different. So a good question, Ivan. Thank you for that. Good evening. Did I say it right? Tesanico? So do we. So do a lot of us gun owners. So do a lot of members of the VCP, PPC especially, libertarians alike. Yes. There's a lot of conservatives that like to do that too. But believe it or not, there might even be some liberals in the woodwork that might want to consider that. You know, if they're a traditional liberal, they would tolerate it. But I'm not seeing that much tolerance from them. So if you move out west, well, it's not hard to adapt to local culture out here. As long as you got your warm winter clothes and your decent summer shorts, you'd be good to go. And a good work ethic, I think anyone who comes out west will fit in just fine. Well, I would say it's a little more laid back, for sure. But I don't really have a favorite province. I love my home, but I'm like the anthem, home and native lands. I love being all over this country. I spent time in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland. I haven't been that far north yet. I've yet to venture into the great wilds of British Columbia, but I love what I see. So, true. Yes, Ralph Klein was pretty good. No. Shoot, shut up, or shovel. Yeah, so you go to work, do your thing. And that's the thing. Just basic people doing their thing, mind their business with peace, security, and freedom, the way it should be. So don't be shy, folks. Feel free to answer more questions. I see more people signing on. Well, by all means, talk to me. Ask me anything you want to know. Yeah, no more lemons, please. No more lemon questions. Kip Yoth. Well, thanks for coming out, Kip. Appreciate that. Thank you again for your donations. Much appreciated. Kip Yoth, ladies and gentlemen. A gentleman and a scholar from Ontario. Well done, sir. Thank you very much. Your opinion, if the government pushes the Great Reset, and we will push back. I hate to say it, but it's going to be violent. That's my best guess. That is my best guess when it comes to the reset. The way that Mr. Klaus Schwab discussed it, and the way Christopher Freeland promotes it, and the way Patty Haydu promotes it, the way Justin promoted it, where they're saying, oh, it's not a conspiracy. They want to harmonize capitalism, where it's crony capitalism, where people like you and me won't get a chance to really make anything or do anything other than just walk some infinite fucking invisible line. I would say it'd be violent. The thing is, too, you have to push back on mass, not just pockets here and there, on mass. Right? I don't know. I would say that's my best guess, because if it's the way they talk about it, and it'll happen over a period of time too. This will change, that will change. There'll be legislation here, legislation there. There'll be more companies like Loblaws and Walmart getting a few extra bucks while we're told where to shop, what to buy, what's essential, what's not essential, yada, yada, yada. And then someone's going to snap, or somebody's, or some people, or the big population is going to snap. And then what? So push-ups. What's push-ups? Oh my God, push-ups. If it turns that way, push-ups, yeah, I think so. I think so. I think so. I think so. There'll be civil unrest for sure. I don't know if it'll be a war, but I think it'll be geared up to it. Like I said, I'd want to see it. I'm sure you don't want to see it either, but the more people think about it, the more people get the information on where the moment the government tells you where you have to put your money and where to buy and where to spend, it's not good, period. The moment the government steps in and says, we are planning this for you without any kind of referendum or consensus or representation, it's not good. So I might have to agree with you there, push-ups. Ivan, yeah, no problem. You don't have to call me Sarge. It's all good. You can call me Crusty Canuck or call me John. That's fine. Appreciate it, though. Thank you very much, Ivan. Thanks for coming out. You're welcome here. Well, what do I think the timeline for till either things get better or go bad? Well, they're already bad. And for it to get better, we're going to need some politicians or people to start opening up their stores and say, fuck the health regulations. My shop will be open. The people to actually get out and just, just get out and just do their thing without fearing the police or the authorities, right? Get out and do it. Open up your store. Go to work. Demand answers, right? I want to see more people calling their MPs and saying, what's going on? Tie up their phone lines, tie up their computers, email, letters, phone call, email, letters, phone calls, over and over again. Bug the piss out of them. I would expect nothing less. If I was elected official sitting in a riding and I was in position right now to do something, I would definitely be telling the province, say, look, let these stores open. What are you doing? Get the economy going. All right. And good for those restaurants. Yes, good for those restaurants. Exactly. Good for them. Well done. That's a start too. Get them going. Sure. Oh, hand me a ticket. Yeah, fine. Okay. Yeah, I'll pay it. Yeah, whatever. I'll pay it. All right. Exactly. Right. So when people do it en masse, it's the same thing with the simple tax revolt. I would encourage people, don't file. If you get 40,000 or 50,000 people not filing, they can't arrest 30,000 or 40,000 of you, right? They might be able to penalize a handful here and there. But considering the math skills that the CRA has, I don't think they do a very good job. So, but yeah, good for the restaurants and good for their businesses. I want to see more of that. Chris W., there's a world government, or we have World Health Organization. Why don't we have World People Party? Well, when it comes to anything global, that's where it gets difficult. I don't believe in world government. I don't believe in World Health Organization. They're even saying lockdowns aren't recommended yet. Look how many of these countries are doing it. So I don't think the UN's a force for good. If you want to have a World People Party, well, you have to get a lot of people on board with you. In theory, it sounds a fantastic idea, But my concern is looking after Canada. Canada has never been a savior of the planet. We've had innovations and technological advances and people that have mattered, that have contributed to the world on large. For example, Dr. Banting, the guy who invented insulin. There's our mark in the world. We've had a lot of people in space and politics who have done wonderful things, but we have to start focusing on Canada instead of worrying about the world. Help those who need it, sure, when we can afford it. Not just give things away and deal with it later like our government's doing. So please, folks, take advantage of my Crusty Canuck. You can see the logo spraying on the bottom there, too. Check it all out. Check out the shop. I got t-shirts, hats, stickers, magnets. I got a patriotic gitch. Some nice t-shirts and some swims with the ladies. Please check it out if you can. Now, like I say, I try to get every live stream up every 2 weeks. So what I will do, hopefully, my next live stream will be 2 weeks from now. So mark this on your calendars, folks. So it will be on, let's see, the 4th and the 11th. So February the 11th, ladies and gentlemen, with my next live stream. And I hope to have a guest or two. And you can still ask them questions, ask me questions the same. So. Okay, push-ups. That's right. Thanks for coming out, bud. Cheers. Good journeys to you, sir. Okay. What do you think of the ramifications of Biden being in office on Canada? Well, ramifications are simple. Look at our pipeline. Where is it? Democrats have always supported the Make Way Foundation, basically a conglomerate that wants to keep Canadian oil in Canadian ground, whether they want to save it for a day or not. So they're not a very, very well forced for good. You know, they'd rather tell other people what to do, rather look at their own problems. So I don't think Biden is that great for Canadian oil. I don't think the governing body in this country is not good for anything Canadian at the moment. You know, they're not. So. Take care, Sue. Yes, the sniffer himself. So, oh, there's quite a few units in the corruption. Quite a few. Mm-hmm. Yeah, take care, Sue. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate that. Hey, there he is. Hey, Fred. How's it going? Excellent, Fred. How are you? Well, see, that's the thing, Joe. A lot of these politicians don't think about the repercussions of their decisions later on. You know, I don't think Maroney was actually thinking too hard back in the late 80s when he signed the free trade agreement that we're going to go right to a recession. And we did. And a lot of people lost jobs. A lot of money left Canada. In order to accommodate said budget problems, they incorporated the GST and upped the ante of smokes and tobacco. Or, yeah, tobacco and liquor, sorry. Just to make money that they lost on a gamble. So they don't think about it. And I don't think the federal government cares about the cumulative debt they have acquired. I've actually debated with people on my Facebook page who have sat there and tried to tell me that, oh, you don't understand, Justin Trudeau has accomplished so much. Really? Spending other people's money is considered an accomplishment? You know, lying to the taxpayer, covering up a handful of interests when you should be looking at the interests of a nation? That's not an accomplishment. That's being a selfish fucking brat. So. Well, whether he has it in Ukraine or not, Okay. Also, Russia has a stake in Ukraine as well, right? And Canadian oil deserves to be in the market, right? The Americans have always tried to chastise Canadian production for the past 50 years, right? And I'm not saying all Americans, I'm saying the people that were in power, right? It goes back to Nixon, goes back to Carter, goes back to Reagan, to Bush Sr., to Bush Jr., to Clinton, right? Even Obama did not want Canadian oil coming down to Keystone, right? Now we can do that by railhead, right? Probably because Warren Buffett owns a great part of the railway. So he stands to make some money, have it being produced and shipped via rail rather than via pipes. So where's Transition to Power America was White House press secretary. Well, yeah, I haven't watched any of that footage there, Fred. But yeah, it's a good point. You get the feeling as I do, it's just disingenuous. It's farbo garb. It's just like you just want to drool every time you hear someone talk. You just want to go, oh, just go off and la la land, right? Seneko, yes, I know the probably the world best regulations right there. You know, especially when it comes to production, producing a good product, and the environmental protections too. The best, far superior than Saudis, far superior than Nigeria's, definitely far superior than the Venezuelans, and far superior than some of our American counterparts too. Right? But no, that's not good enough, right? Well, but I agree. Alberta has some of the best fucking regulations when it comes to protecting the environment and creating stable work. Right? Doesn't matter if it's administrative, doesn't matter if you're working on the rigs, the derricks, labor, moving trucks, medicinal, logistical, everything. Right? No, I agree with you, Sanko. Am I saying your name right? Is it Tasanko? Is the T silent or is it Saniko? Correct me if I'm wrong. Joe Biden questions usually around his favorite ice cream flavors. Yep, Joe Biden. I like that Rocky Road. Cherry Garcia. It's delicious. Tasanico? Tasanko? Tasanico. Just give me a thumbs up if I say it right. Tasanico. Tasanico. Okay. Tasanico it is. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Tasanico. Okay. That's great, Joe. Why telling the world this? Hmm? All right, perfect. Feel free, folks. Please ask me anything you want to know. All questions. All's encouraged. Just keep it clean, Joe. Right? No more lemon questions. Not like that putz that came on earlier. Right? So. Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Yes, Joe Biden said that. So that answers none of your questions there, Fred. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I like Rocky Road and Cherry Garcia. Ladies and gentlemen, too, please check out Adam Daniel Mazay's Hidden Gem live stream. He does a podcast every week. I'm part of his panel. You'll see myself. You'll see Gabriel Shear, Mike the Pipe Boss, Critical Thinker, I think will be part of the panel too. Frank P. Vaughn, Jilly Davis, and others. He usually does that at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Tune into that. We just sit, we discuss weekly affairs, get philosophical, try to be realistic, and try to promote open dialogue and freedom to its finest. So please consider checking out Adam Daniel Mazet, his channel, especially his Fast Thoughts. Excellent work. And check out his Hidden Gem Livestream podcast. And Joe Biden said he was Catholic, I believe, because he was. Yeah, but did he offer a bag of chips and a can of pop? Exactly. Senko, what's your thoughts on the micronuclear? Well, nuclear energy is clean. And if it can keep people alive, put people to work, and provide clean, real, honest energy, sure. The only problem is that, well, even Canadian nuclear power plants, the initiatives are very, very clean. You'll never see a Chernobyl in this country, anything remotely like that, unless someone actually fires a rocket at said reactor. But I got nothing against nuclear energy. Not a bloody thing. In fact, I would like people to have their own incentive, their own incentive when it comes to making their own energy. There's no reason why private citizens cannot do that. I like to see a little more innovation when it came to geothermal too, right? Innovations when it comes to biodiesel, innovations when it comes to creating your own fuel without blowing yourself up, in a makeshift refinery. But the science is there. There's innovations there, right? There are ways you can convert an engine to burn off fryer grease, which is less harmful than anything, right? It promotes recycling, it promotes independence, and it promotes self-sufficiency. We can do that too, right? Yes, or Fukushima, of course. Exactly, right? But then there was an earthquake there too. That's what happens when you have a reactor by a body of water, i.e. the Pacific. So when a mini plant, let's say, look after a city, or let's say half the province, that's not a bad idea, really. Yeah. Well, I think you can make it from any plant for that matter too. Your own vegetable waste, the people what people throw away every day too. Um, Last year, I actually started making a point of keeping all of my waste that I made for my mead, throw it in my potato beds. I had some great potatoes. Unfortunately, I had some neighborhood cats that got into my potato patch. That really pissed me off. But if it wasn't for that mead waste, all that fruit and stuff that I put in there to make my mead taste a little, fruity rather than bitter, I don't think my potato crop would have turned out as well as it did. The only problem was, like I said, we had neighborhood cats. They ended up pissing all over my spuds. That kind of pissed me off. So I didn't get really much of a good potato crop last year. But next year it'll be better. But yeah, food waste and all that, instead of using it for, let's say, your garden beds, by all means, it's bio, right? And how much would you spend though? You make biodiesel. How much do you actually end up spending on diesel fuel in a month? I think what you buy maybe 40 liters worth compared to the usual 100-liter tank. And isn't diesel roughly here marked up to about buck 10 a liter now? So innovations too. Even when it comes to home heating, why not? Right? I agree, Joe. Yes, it's something to look into. Looking into it. Proper sciences, proper diagnosis. Looking in what would it take? Let's say a community of 40 people to tap into something geothermal. Right? What would it take? Start slow and then build it out. Right? I agree. I'm not saying abolish fossil fuels. No, they're an asset. But until we learn how to do something, this is what we got. So take advantage of it, right? Mm. Don't be shy, folks. I know I got some more Facebook fans out there. I've had a lot of Facebook likes. So all my Facebook fans, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're there. Feel free to ask me a question, anything you'd like to know, too. I see more people signing on. Don't be shy, folks. Say hello. Ask me what you want to know. Like I say, look at the CC shop at the passing banner there, at the bottom of your screen. Get yourself some Crusty Canuck swagger. And if you do feel like donating, please donate. Check out my join page on YouTube. And if you do feel like just toss me a few bucks, use my PayPal, use my Buy Me a Coffee applications there. Right, you can see that there as well. So yeah, contradiction to say the least, right? Doesn't want Keystone, probably because Warren Buffett owns a good conglomerate of railway operations. So, but yeah, he's just following Obama's suit, Fred. That's all I can say, really. Ooh, yeah. See, that's the thing too. But I wonder, Dave, if you could tap in the energy of Yellowstone's volcano, I wonder if that would have anything to do with the shifting plates that could possibly ignite it, or right. So that's the thing. I'd be very, very careful with the volcano. That's just my opinion, though. I'm referring back to grade 10 science here, but I don't know if I move this plate a little too far left. What's going to happen, right? But that's a great idea. Yeah, like even the energy that goes into those geysers too, right? Imagine the heat you could get, all that hot steam, right? You turn it into something productive, right? Possibilities, innovations are there. See, innovations there. I see. I like this. We're getting some ideas out there, and I wonder if there's some kid from Western University who's actually watching, going, he's onto something. Maybe I should design something. That's what we need. And this country has a lot of designers, a lot of innovators. Why don't we take advantage of that? You know? Let's take advantage of it. See what we can get with her. Okay. Pressure release. Is that through the volcano, or that would be through a geyser, Joe? Could do that. Possibilities, right? Like I say, suggestions everywhere. Dave Hemington, NASA's, well, yeah, NASA, but I don't know. I don't trust NASA. I'd sooner trust somebody from McGill or somebody from University of Western Ontario, somebody with an engineering and an ecology background. Dr. Patrick Moore, for example, hey, he'd have an idea. Actually, some of the geo experts from our country in regards to exploration too. See what they'd have to say. But yeah, I can see NASA trying to do something like that. Hmm. It would be big holes drilled through. Oh, okay, kind of like a colander. Yeah. Okay. So it'd make things unpredictable. Okay, I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah. But hey, innovations, right? So in the meantime, we can focus on biodiesel. We can also focus on generating your own wind turbine. I mean, just like a glorified fan, if anything, to generate your own electricity for your household and for your garage, right? I like the idea of solar, but then again, people forget that in Canada, you're not getting as much sunshine as you would be in Florida or Southern California or Texas or Arizona for that matter, right? And that's the thing, because I remember the Liberal government bragging about, oh, they have a solar freezer, none of it. Great. How long is the sun out? None of it. Eh? Possibilities, folks, possibilities. Right. So I got more people watching. So don't be shy, folks. Please say hello. Let me know you're out there. So Tesla. Yeah, I heard about that too. And to see that can be done. If anyone lives by a stream that actually has a steady current, there are ways you make a turbine that can do that. Guilty pleasure. My wife and I, we like watching that Homestead Rescue, and some of the ideas they come up with are pretty cool. Right? People who live by streams or actual working rivers, not just little trickle creeks to get some water to your goats or your livestock, but an actual working creek where you get a good current, a steady current too. All right, that would be innovative for sure. Yeah. Yeah, well, you're absolutely right, Joe. You've nailed it too. They had the electric car back in the early 90s. I don't know if you remember this or not. I think it was either GM or Ford that did it. And then it just disappeared, right? And now they're pushing the whole electric car thing. But what gets me is the more they keep pushing those electric cars, they forget that the generating stations that give you power are run on diesel. Right? So you get about 60 or 100 gallons of diesel powering these power generators to power your electric car. Yeah, I call bullshit. But yeah, possibilities are endless. Something I'll look into more biofuels too, because I know online you can buy conversion kits for your truck or for your car, whatever your preference is. And there's schematics and there's formulas on how to make your own biodiesel. So I might possibly look into that. I've got access to empty jerry cans if I need it. So I'll just try not to blow myself up making my own refinery. But it's a possibility, folks. So any innovations, folks, I'll post my email up here too. Reach out and say hello. Don't be shy. So you can also find me at Facebook, on the YouTube. Please leave a comment, click like, subscribe, and share around too. And feel free. I'm also on Gab, I'm on Signal, and I'm on Telegram as well. So links will be at the bottom of my video description, as always. Well, that would be an idea, ideally, yeah. Let's say hypothetically, if I was pulling out, let's say 40 or 50 liters a week, okay, that's a possibility. But the Sanico, what is the shelf life of a refined fuel? I know on gasoline, is it 6 months it begins to break down? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think I think with regular gasoline, if it just sits in a jerry can for more than 6 months, I think it breaks down. I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen. I think diesel is not too far behind. I know naphtha can last a while. And I think kerosene can last a long time too. But actually, like the mandatory, like regular gas and diesel, I think it only lasts maybe additives. Okay, so if you just refined, let's say, your own diesel, biodiesel, you'd have to put additives to prolong, I'm assuming, or because of the bio element, it wouldn't last as long as standard diesel. Yeah. Okay. I'll put this up here then. Yeah. Additives. Okay. Now, what kind of additives, though? That's the thing. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Okay. Okay. So, yeah. So it's kind of right, but gasoline. Okay. Yeah. So 3 to 6 months for gas. Okay. Well, see. So diesel will be doable, especially with the biodiesel. Yeah. Yeah. I know biodiesel can be somewhat dirty, but it's just a matter of your filtration, I guess, on that too. Right. I'll have to see. You can take time, but hey, it's like I say, folks, innovations, thoughts, and we can always innovate on our own too, and bring ideas and share it to a community value as well, without worrying about the profit margin and without worrying about the government getting its fair share, because the government's taking its fair share. We need our fair share. What say you? Let me know. crustybcanuck67@gmail.com. Email is in the comment section there too. Where you can just click on my face on YouTube and Facebook, respectively, and have your own way of reaching me via comments, via email. Please let me know. Electric cars in cold Canada, waste of time. I can see the relevance of electric car if you live in a major city, and let's say you live in an apartment building or a small home at one part of the city and you have to get to the other side of the city. Fine. Okay. But for the majority of Canadians that live in rural areas, no. Unless you have the generator pack literally plugged into the back of your car or your truck, right? That's the thing. I don't, as much as I love the innovation of electric car, when you look at the schematics that Elon Musk, the Tesla that he made, the whole undercarriage, right? The whole bottom part of the undercarriage is nothing but one big giant battery that has to be recharged. That's fine in Southern California, but is it going to be as innovative, let's say, in Western Alberta, Northern BC, Northwest Territories, Northern Ontario, right? How effective is it? Right. Just like we're taught in basic marketing, caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. Right. So, but I don't buy the hoopla about it. Okay. For gasoline stabilizers. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Of course. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to build my own refinery, probably lose whatever hair I have left. My eyebrows will be right off, but but for biodiesel, if it can last a year, that's good. That's good, especially in a crisis too. That'd be excellent. But just a matter of getting the conversion kits. So, well, yeah, salt in any battery. Fuck, of course. The thing out here, though, there isn't a lot of salt because it attracts a lot of the wildlife. So you see a lot more sand, but still, anything granular, yeah, it gets in any kind of works or kinks. Like you would have to seal that undercarriage with some kind of coating so nothing can get in, especially maintenance too. But I remember when I watched the video with my wife, we were talking about possibilities of great electric vehicles, but yeah, you'd have to accommodate for road maintenance and what goes on the roads, especially in winter territories. Like they'd be hell in Alaska, so. Oh yeah, it wouldn't be effective for electric cars. You'd be better off just with regular gas and diesel, or biodiesel, like we were talking about. But no, I think you're right, Dave. It'd be hell because we don't use a lot of salt out here in Alberta because of moose and deer. They end up becoming, issues on roads and highways. But still, even when, let's say, the amount of sand that some of these snowplows do lay down, it would wreak havoc on your battery connections, let alone the batteries itself. So, I think again, you have an orphan well in your. Oh, yeah, we see enough of them out here around Lloydminster area. Yeah, but we're not that fortunate. It'd be nice though. Yeah, it'd be really nice. I know. Yeah, I know. Wire to Owen Sound area. My cousin's husband used to run plow back in the 90s. So yeah, he was always telling me about salt. Yeah, the thing is out here we use a lot of sand because of the wildlife. So yeah, I'm guilty. I use salt in my driveway, and I use salt in my walkways too. I buy the actual proper melting salts. I've actually used table salt one day. It works, but that's a lot of table salt. So, but I got a couple of sandbags in my truck, so they come in handy. But then again, you guys get different snowfall. When you guys get dumped on in that area, a lot of it's because of the lakes. So you get mounds of it. We'll have squalls, minor squalls and stuff out here. Not the same caliber as Southern Ontario for sure. So, right. Oh, New Brunswick's the same thing. Yeah, I've done winter training in New Brunswick, and what a nightmare. God, yeah. I see more people coming out. Don't be shy, folks. Say hello. Ask me a question, by all means. I'm going to be on for another 15 minutes. So get your questions in soon, right? It's because of viewers like yourself. I do these live streams to get dialogue going. And please consider donating to the Crusty Canuck podcast. You can find me on Podbean under Crusty Canuck, on YouTube, and join the page. Contribute $1.99 a month, and if half my subscribers contribute that much, I would be on my way to creating some great and fantastic things. I would like to make this a full-time position, but it's going to take viewers such as yourself and contributors. So please share this work around if you can. Comment, like, subscribe. Don't forget to click the little bell every time you want to see a new notification of my work coming up. So I try at least to get a couple episodes up every week, talk about current events, social and national issues. So please, by all means, consider contributing to the Crusty Canuck podcast today. So, well, that's the thing. I've always known New Brunswick as a very, very liberal province. Liberal province. Now, I've had a great time there, a lot of history there. One of the founding members of Confederation. But we all know too, the liberal brand is nothing what it used to be, not even remotely close to what it used to be. So that's what gets me. The East Coast could do a hell of a lot better without the Trudeau Liberals. Right? I would instill a lot of more fishing rights. I would put the St. John shipyard to work by acquiring proper naval craft without these delays and procurement boards. Right? So. An elected Senate, that's a good question. I don't know what the VCP would, per se. I'll have to ask Randy about that. But I personally agree with that. Yes. Yes. I believe senators should be elected and not just pinpointed because they represent nostalgia. I would like to see them elected. If they're going to keep the governor general's position, I'd like to see him or her elected too, without all the perks and the advantages. I don't want an expense account. I don't want to see expense accounts. I want to see politicians going to work, doing their effing jobs, doing the best of their ability. And I've said numerous times in my show and here on live stream too, folks, that I am willing to roll up my sleeves and work all night if I have to. I'm not afraid of that. I've slept in many different places in my life, to the snow, to the sand, to other nasty things. But I'm willing to do the work and do what it takes. So I agree. Yes, Ivan, I believe the Senate should be elected. That's my personal belief. I don't know what the VCP stands for on that yet, but I will find that answer for you if you like, sir. And yeah, elect them. Right? I would say abolish the Governor General's position, and that way it gives the Prime Minister a little more incentive to represent the nation as he or she should. Right? So. St. John's Shipyard's not there. Well, reopen it. Or, we could try that in Collingwood, Ontario, but I think it's now condos in that area. So, yes, because it's 2015, and Justin Trudeau said because it's 2015. Yeah, how's that working out? So, well, then keep the one in Nova Scotia and then open the one in St. John too, and have 2 shipyards. That way you've got 2 noble industries. Right? 2 noble industries. If the West can have the oil, then let the East have shipbuilding. And then meet halfway. Right? I know Winnipeg used to make some great jets at one time. Is that industry still alive there now? Or is it all about Bombardier and what they do in La Belle Provence? Right? There are many ways we can make money in this country again, folks, without the government's approval. And we have to start thinking about governing ourselves as well as telling the government how to govern. And that's what we need. We need more people to tell the government how to govern rather than just off the cuff do the thing they want. IBM was rewarded a contract to collect the guns. So I wonder how they're going to do that. Are they going to hire private security to do it for them? Right? They're going to go to every household with a CFO officer. Hi, we're IBM. We're here to get your guns. Well, no, you're here to fix my computer. Oh, wait a minute. You're IBM. I'm Microsoft. That's my logic. But good point, Chris. Yeah. Yeah, good point. Yeah, I'd say they're part of big tech. They're a big tech conglomerate. I'm not exactly sure what they have to do with any of the major sites, but I know they're still making hardware, software, and they have their hands and everything else, just like General Electric and all the other big guys. So. By all means, folks, I'll give it a few more minutes. Please don't be shy. Ask away. Anything you'd like to know. Just looking over my questions here. Any questions, feel free to ask. By all means. Yeah, but what tax money? That's the thing. Because, yeah, okay, some of us gun owners might get a few extra bucks, but where's that going to go? It's going to go to paying mortgages, rents, putting gas in the truck and cars, food on the table, right? I've had to use a good chunk of my savings just to keep myself above water, to keep the lights on, right? It's the money that I worked hard to save for a rainy day. The rain is come and gone, and it's going to be raining again soon. So who knows? I'm not giving mine up, period. So. Let's see more people coming on. Don't be shy, folks. We have a few more minutes, and then I might just shut her down for this evening. So, well, I'm not sure who's going to fight it, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a shitstorm. But we'll have to see. My projection is this: they might call an election in April or early May. So, stand by. I'm not going to do the Donald Trump thing, but stand by. Time to get our scruples and our morals together and to start looking at things for what they are and how we can change them, how we as Canadian people can change them. Last year with the court case, the CCFR was gaining ground. So that's one word, but you can check for updates on the CCFR website too. I'm actually working on getting some insurance through them as well. So. Oh, thank you, Ivan. Yes, that's the old red ensign. I keep it up there for historical reasons. I've actually had, it's funny you mentioned that. I had a different camera for my live streams there. And of course, I had some kid saying, "Oh, what's that flag behind you? Is that a Nazi flag?" And then I showed him. And the funniest thing, this kid said he had a history degree, and he had no idea what that flag was. So what's that tell you? Great degree, Buckeye. You're going places. But thank you, Ivan. Appreciate that. Yeah. Yes, Joe, regarding the OIC, CCFR is doing some wonderful things. They got themselves some high-powered attorneys because of donations from myself and other members. Lots of other members have donated like 5,000, 10,000. I think I gave them $100, but it was a start. They are doing a pretty good job as far as I know. So check out the CCFR page for updates too. So exactement. Come and get them. Yeah. Maverick Party. Well, like I said, they're Seneco, check out the VCP, Veterans Coalition Party. Right. Well, they're all part of the same machine and they're all representing. I've had emails from the NFA too, doing their part in regards to this OIC gun grab. And they're all doing wonderful jobs. Right. They're all doing wonderful things. So we got to back them up. Right. Well, we got to back them up regardless. Someone's doing the fight. So, you know. Well, you're looking at one. I want to toot my own horn, but I'm here for the long haul. So I said they call the election and say if I don't get elected, well, then I'm going to still be fighting the good fight, regardless whether I'm elected or not. You know, I'm not going to pull a sore loser routine like the Bidens did or the Democrats did or other libtards have done in this country. Right? Well, there's decent dudes in the VCP. Check them out, please, and join. Doesn't cost you anything. If you want to donate to those guys, by all means, donate to the party. We could use the help. You know, but let's say if you want to be a candidate in your area, talk to Randy. He'll set you up with Gilles Gilbert and go from there. Right? Winter. Well, not every government's perfect, but then again, we do have a chance. Platforms like this, they give us a chance. It's going out in the street and having a chance. When they start opening up restaurants again, we'll have a chance. We got to keep fighting, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. We got to keep doing it. We could, yes, we could use the same liberalism tactics to cheat, create fear, you know, say that Justin Trudeau's got a third eye. He's part psychic. He's evil. No, he's a dick, but needless to say. No, I know what you mean, though. Well, that's a simple tactic too, Joe. They've always used excuses. They've stalled things. They've stalled things when it came to Veterans Affairs. They've stalled things when it comes to seniors. They've stalled in clean water. They are stalling on the frickin' vaccines right now, whether people need them or not. So their track record is horrendous. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Use the Dominion systems. Exactly. No, this is the best system right here. Pencil and paper. That's the best system. Right? Okay, folks, I'm going to shut this down in a couple of minutes, so please get your last questions in. If you like what you see in here, please check out the Crusty Canuck podcast on YouTube and Podbean. Look for updates on my community page on YouTube and updates on my Facebook page. You can still find me on Signal, Telegram, Gab, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I might be abolishing Twitter soon. I don't know, but we'll see. But please take advantage of it. If you like what you hear and see, please consider donating today. Thank you very much to all those who have donated tonight. Thank you. I am very, very respectful and gracious to that donation. Thank you. I'll be going to good things. So, but please consider, I'd like to make this a full-time commitment, but I need viewers and listeners such as yourself to make it happen. So whether you give $1 a month or $2 a month, doesn't matter, you know, and I'll still keep doing it for free too. But if you want to donate, please do. I'm not going to sit here and snap my fingers and demand. I'm not the government, but please consider donating today if you can. So. And a few more questions in, folks, and I might just shut this down here. So By all means, like I say, 2 weeks from now, February 11th, will be my next live stream. So put that in your calendars too. Come on out and say hello. And I'm going to try to have a guest for next live stream as well. So I don't know exactly who yet, but you can ask me questions, ask my guest questions, and then we can go from there. So keep that in mind, folks. Hmm. Well, I'm going to have more people coming on. Don't be shy, ladies and gentlemen. Say hello before I shut her down for this evening. By all means. Well, thank you, Claude. Merci, bienvenue, bonsoir. Take care, and I'll see you next time, Claude. Thank you. Thank you for coming out. Yeah. And Claude de Moran, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, good to see you. Thank you, sir, for coming out in the positive influence. Appreciate that. So I'm planning for the next live stream. Yes, it will be a next live stream. So I'm gonna try and get some more guests here. I'm starting to get tech savvy. So, but I've invested some things in better equipment and stuff too. So next live stream will be a little more eventful, that we can hear someone else's voice rather than me rambling on. But please pay attention to the community page as well, ladies and gentlemen. Like I say, I try to get content up at least twice a week. So I try to get a new episode up when I can. So, right. Yes. Take care, Ivan. Yes. See you in 2 weeks, bud. Cheers. Thanks for coming out. Right. Exactly, Colin. Yes. Get things open. Join the restaurant revolution. I just might. Great. Thank you very much, Dave. Appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate that. And consider, please, joining a member of the page. There's many tiers you can choose from. Right. But please, thank you. That was excellent. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate that. Right. Would Canada be able to enshrine our rights going forward, since still stand by it? The Charter and rights and freedoms are there. They're there for all Canadians, all colors, all creeds. Going forward, it's going to be harder, but we stand our ground. That's simple. Well, it sounds simpler than it is, the way things are going now, but we still stand our ground, period. Right? Well, that's not my platform, Colin, but yes, true. That's the thing. Get people talking again. That way people will start breeding again, right? So, true enough. Okay, folks, I'm going to be shutting this down in about 2 minutes now for sure. Naples, Italy. Well, I'm not really concerned about the 33%. It's just to start build a foundation. Actually, yeah, I should put up my PayPal. Okay, but still, I'm not worried about 33%. At the moment, it's just starting to build a foundation. People use it, so that way something's coming in. But yeah, for next live stream for sure, to Senko, I will do that for sure. Yeah. So. All right, 10-4. Perfect. Take care, Ivan. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am done. I have been Crusty Canuck on this beautiful live stream for the 28th of January. I hope you all are well and safe. Conversation is always good. Let's keep the dialogue open. I will try to have a new episode of the Crusty Canuck podcast either Monday or Tuesday coming. If you're anxious, please check out the Adam Daniel Mosé hidden stream hidden gem live stream. Very, very innovative talk we have with other individuals, hosted by Adam Daniel Mosé himself. You'll see Gabriel Scheer. Hopefully, Mike the Pipe Boss will come out this week. As far as I know, Adam says he might have a special guest. I'm not exactly sure who it is at the moment, but please tune into that. And it will be on his channel, ADM, Adam Daniel Mosé, on YouTube. So please check out the Hidden Gem live stream. You'll see myself, the host Adam, Gabriel Scheer, Mike the Pipe Boss, Chris Triple V, Chris Semchuk, the Major himself. Last week we had on the Major, Frank P. Vaughn, and we also had Critical Thinker, Leo. So please check that out too. It'll be on this Sunday evening. That's 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern. So tune into that. Oh, I just got here from Gabriel Shear. Oh, okay. Bitcoin. Sure thing. Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll get a hold of you later, Gabe, and you show me how to set that up. So, all right. Take care, Dave. Thanks for coming out, bud. Oh, well then. Great. Perfect. Sheila Gunn Reid on Sunday, a reporter extraordinary herself. So tune into that if you can, ladies and gentlemen. Myself, Gabriel Shear there, and we'll have a special guest based on Adam's great personality. Sheila Gunn Reid will be joining us too, so please consider that. Excellent. So, yes, thank you, Gabe. Appreciate that, bud. Yeah, I'll look forward to it for sure. So, I met Crit Calgary a while back. I met Sheila briefly and Ezra Levant in Edmonton, October of 2019. It was his book, Libranos. I got it signed, so just had a nice little chat with them. But yeah, it'll be excellent. So please tune in this Sunday, 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Adam Daniel Mazet, so you can find that. Anyway, folks, like I said, I've been Crusty Canuck, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, keep an eye on my community page and my Facebook page for updates on what's coming down. And please consider joining and donating today. So have a good night, everybody. Thank you, everyone who's come out and donated. Thank you, especially Gabriel, for your information and your wit, as always. Well done, sir. All right. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Ivan. Thank you, Dave Winter, Dave Hemmington, Colin MacArthur, Joe CC, Tasenko. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And ladies, too. Sue, is not there. Thanks for joining, Gabe. Appreciate that. Thank you all who come out. Mr. N. Claude Dimorin, merci beaucoup. Bonne nuit, monsieur. And everyone else who's come out, and even the shy ones that sat in the corners and didn't say anything. Thank you again, folks. And we'll see you next time. So like I say, pay attention to my page. And I'll probably have a new episode up Monday or Tuesday. But people like you, thank you. Thank you for coming out and making this all that more magical. Take care, folks. All the best. And see you next time. Bye for now.